Now, it's a big concern for every parent how best to protect your children from unsuitable online content and the threat from predators. And in the middle of the school holidays, there's a new warning that millions of our kids are now playing online games for up to 4 hours a day, many without any adult supervision. So what can parents and grandparents do to keep their children safe? That's the topic for today's Weekend Agenda. And joining me is Digital Families researcher Joanne Orlando from the University of Western Sydney and radio producer and mum of three, Katie Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Jo, I might start with you as the expert. Are we right as parents to be worried?
Of course, absolutely. We know that technology is a double-edged sword. So there's lots of great things for kids. They can learn, communicate, access new information, but there's lots of risks that they need to know about and they need to learn how to manage. Things like violence in games and in images that they see, lots of sneaky advertising on there that kids mightn't be aware of, and of course the potential for other people, so adults who are strangers or bullies, to contact them without them realising the consequences.
And something that we've just heard in the last week too, that is that hackers are now targeting children online, using that information and basically selling it on the dark web for as little as $15.
That's right, and that has long-term implications for the child. So there's this information that someone has bought. So in terms of digital identity or identity theft, it can certainly have implications for them straight into adulthood that we may not even be aware of right now. And also things like children, there's a very popular online game that children play, and hackers have got into that game and they've
Fortnite or Minecraft, I think you're talking about.
It's actually another one. And hackers have got into that game and they've created new characters within that game that children can play with. But these characters actually perform sexual acts. So we found during the week that children have been playing the game, have encountered these characters. So not good. And this is so very young children, 7 and 8. So it's not good. They shouldn't be encountering this kind of content.
I mean, this terrifies me, and I'm not there yet because my son's only 18 months old. But Katie, you're in the thick of this.
I'm
You've
in
got
the thick
11,
of it.
9 and 7.
Yes, it is really scary, and just trying to get my head around it all is just, it's really hard. It is really, really hard. You've just got to try and be there as much as you can, I guess, and hover around them and restrict their time usage. And I don't let them have their iPads in their bedrooms, and they're not allowed to have the PlayStation 4 in their bedroom. So everything has to be in the central living space where I can monitor what's going on.
So you're a mean mum.
So I'm a really mean mum. Yes. So the kids can't use it during the week at all. Yeah. It's only on the weekends.
And how do they feel about that?
There's a few battles that we have, but I explain it to them. This is why it's not healthy. It's not good for you. And I explain to them about the predators that are out there that can contact them. Well, they have. One of them on Roblox contacted my daughter and said some inappropriate things. And so you just have to go into these games and put the no chat or the mute things on, the settings on, and it's just this whole other area of parenting that you now have to do as modern parents.
Because I mean, and you were just making the point before, there's not always a paper trail either. That you've now got headsets.
Yes.
So you don't, and they're chatting. So you don't know who they're chatting to necessarily, or what's being said.
Yes. So my son just recently, with his pocket money, bought a headset, and then I realised I don't know who he's talking to or who's talking to him. And there's no paper trail, not unlike with messaging. There's no paper trail with the headset. So how do I even manage that?
I mean, Jo, there's such a focus on things like sun and road safety that we teach our kids. Do we need to be prioritising this?
Absolutely. So it's not an extra part of parenting anymore. It is parenting in 2018. So it's something that we need to find out more information about as parents, just like we research anything for our kids. It's the same thing. So I always think it's a good idea just to go on there and play the game with your child. So not from a surveillance point of view. It's about, hey, let me play today with you. And we might think it's boring, and it probably is for many parents, but you get a sense of what the game's like, kinds of people that they're interacting with, the teams, the themes for the game, and then read up a little bit more information about the game. So that way we're not sort of parenting from a fear point of view. We're parenting from an informed and confident point of view that's right for your child and your family.
So get amongst it is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Look, it does terrify me. I'm not there yet. I dread to think what it's going to be like at that stage. But Jo and Katie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's an interesting chat.
Thank you.
So